All right. This is the first session of the 2019 question and answer period for Pop and Nan. The first question is from Paula Wyatt from Waco, Texas, home of Dr. Pepper.
Do what?
Home of Dr. Pepper. That's where they make Dr. Pepper over there. She wants to ask you, this question's for Pop. What was the most important event that has happened in your life? What was the most important thing that happened to you growing up?
Most important thing for me was to get away from Harley Ridge Road. That's the only place I ever went and was going was the Harley Ridge Road. And I wanted to get away from there. So I went into the service.
What part of the service did you go?
Air Force.
Why did you want to go to the Air Force?
Because that's the only one I wanted to go was the Air Force. Didn't care for none of them others. Could fly in the Air Force.
I didn't mean to.
What are y'all playing footsies over there? Back when you were in the Air Force, was your brother in the Air Force too, or did he go to the Marines or Army?
Come in 2 weeks after I did, and I didn't even know he was coming in.
Was basic training pretty tough?
At times, but most of the time it was easy.
Where did you do basic training at?
Lackland Air Force Base.
Where is that?
San Antonio.
San Antonio?
San Antonio, Texas.
Didn't you tell me one time that you had to take a train to San Antonio?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I never have taken a train.
Was I just making that up then?
Yeah, you just made that up.
I don't know. I never been in the train.
I think he told me that he took a train down to San Antonio. Maybe I'm thinking of a different time.
I ain't never took a train down to San Antonio.
That you remember.
How do you go?
We're on the bus.
Oh.
On the bus.
On the bus.
Okay.
When you were growing up over there on Harley Ridge Road, the only choices you had was what? Going to college or going to the service?
Yeah, that was it. That was the only two things. So I went to service.
All right, Nan. This is from Rose Marie Zuniga Morale. I don't know where she's from. She didn't put her location. But when you first got married, did Pop always comment on other women's booties?
Yes, he's a booty man. He comments on their booties. He never say much about mine. I don't know why. Why, Joe? Huh?
Right, his booty was real small.
All right. This one's for Pop from Keisha Samuels from Orange Park, Florida. Pop, who is your celebrity crush growing up and why? Who was someone famous that you would famous that you thought was beautiful, that you loved?
Oh, Lord. I don't know. Really, I don't.
You can't think of anyone?
No.
Movie star?
You don't know movie stars? Who did you?
Yeah.
Well, Marilyn Monroe,
There you go.
Elizabeth Taylor.
There you go.
Woo, boy, she was cool.
Which one?
Elizabeth.
What about Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe, she was a little kooky, but Elizabeth, she was something else.
What about Judy Garland?
No, Judy, she could sing, but that was all.
So out of Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor, which one?
Elizabeth Taylor,
Why?
because she was pretty. A lot prettier than Marilyn Monroe. Elizabeth didn't have to put all that garbage on.
All right. Nan, This is from Debbie Johnson from Pryor, Oklahoma.
Hi, baby.
What is the best? Okay, Pop. What is the best anniversary present Pop has surprised you with?
Oh, he bought me a little dinner ring with I think about 3 little diamonds in it, and I was shocked that he went to a jewelry store and bought me a little dinner ring, and I still have it. And I had to put a guard on it. It got too big for me, but I still have it.
Do you remember buying that ring, Pop?
Yeah.
What year was it?
Oh, Lord, it's
64 years ago.
about 52, 53.
The year.
1952 or 53?
No, we married in 1955. So it was about 64 years. We have been married 64 years.
Yeah, about 54.
64.
You said you still have that ring? Do you have that ring?
I bought it. She has to keep it.
All right. This one is for Nan again. Let's see. Nan, what was it like growing up in Puerto Rico in the 1930s and 40s? Was life tough? And what did y'all grow up eating?
Well, we live in the country, and my parents had chickens and pigs and goats, and my daddy always kept a garden with sweet potatoes and green beans and gandules, and we ate regular food, no canned food. I didn't know what canned food was, so rice and beans, a lot of rice and beans and vegetables. And I didn't feel it was rough for me. We had plenty to eat.
Now, was growing up in Puerto Rico in the 30s and 40s, was life tough? What was it? Was it hard growing up with as many siblings as you had? And, you know, it's not like Puerto Rico in the 30s and 40s was the same as growing up here in the United States, I wouldn't imagine.
I was the second. My brother was born 3 years later, so it were not that many in between, but the only thing that I would like to have had was shoes and clothing. Food, we had plenty, never went hungry, but the buying new clothes and shoes, when I went to school the first grade, I went barefoot. So I didn't care. I just was happy to start the first grade when I was 8 years old. And by the 6th grade, I was 14, and I quit school to get a job so I could buy me. The job was babysitting in a family home and making $8 a month. So I didn't only babysit, I washed dishes, but I was contented. I was happy to have a job, was contented. Went to see my family once a month. I gave my mama $2 to meet out of my $8 salary, because taking the bus to from San Juan to where my parents live, it was like 25 cents. So it'd be a 50 cents round trip. But I was contented. I just went along, lived the moment.
Was there anything growing up in Puerto Rico that now living in the United States for so long, you look back and say, I wish we did things a little differently. I wish I would have done this. I would have done that.
Not really, because at the time we did what we could and there was nothing I wish I could have done different. Uh, I just, when the opportunity is in front of you, you take it. Like I felt quitting the job. When I quit the job babysitting, I went to work at the base where I met my husband, and just seek the opportunity. And when I found he probably knew me before I knew him, because he was eyeing me, but I didn't pay attention to him. And well, 2 weeks after we formally met, we were married because he was going to be shipped to Lake Charles, Louisiana. And there was an opportunity, and you just grab it and come on. What?
We got on a cargo plane.
Air Force.
Air Force plane, didn't cost nothing. Go right into Shreveport, Louisiana.
At Barksdale Air Force Base?
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Pop, what was it about Nan that made you fall in love with her?
Oh, one of the reasons, because I knew she worked and wouldn't be laying around the house like a lot of the women are doing.
I'm still working.
Could she cook a good meal?
No, she couldn't cook good. That was one thing she couldn't do, but she learned how her mother could cook. I mean, that woman could cook.
You've always told me that Nan learned how to cook a lot from Aunt Allie.
Yeah, she learned from Aunt Allie.
Cajun food.
And yeah, it was Cajun food.
Where was Aunt Allie living at the time? Allie Roy.
Port Sulphur, Louisiana.
Port Sulphur, Louisiana. And Aunt Allie was your father's sister. Yeah.
So after he finished in the Air Force, we moved to Port Sulphur, Louisiana, because he got a job offshore in the oil field. So we moved over there. And I learned to cook a lot of French food.
Let's see here. Nan, how do you stay looking so young?
I have no secret. I have no secret. No secrets, because keeping your face clean, and a little light in nighttime, a little light oil of Olay. Hey, maybe they send me some coupons, oil of Olay in the face. Just kidding. No, I don't do anything special.
Good genetics?
Yes, it could be, because my mama didn't have that many, didn't show her age that much. And so it could be. And my daddy, I remember he passed at the age of 84, and his face was so smooth. So I guess genetics.
A lot of that mixture between Spanish blood and Taino Indian blood.
And the Indian, Castilian. Because all from under my daddy's side, they came from Spain, my ancestors. And some of my mama's side, her mama did. Her mama was green-eyed, redhead. The hair was almost red, and freckle-faced. So I only inherited the freckles.
And on your mom's side, that's where the Indian was.
the Indian part of my mama's side.
Pop,
What?
this is from a lot of folks. They want to know, why don't you like chicken?
Because when I was born on my granddaddy's farm, that's all it was, chicken, 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 chicken. And I said, if I ever get away from here, it won't be no, I don't care for chicken. And she'll tell you right now, I don't care for chicken.
And you went in the Air Force, huh? Did they have chicken there?
Yeah, but I didn't eat
I know you ate steaks.
it. I didn't eat chicken.
What did you used to tell me that you would go through the chow halls and they would be boiling chicken,
Yeah.
hundreds of pounds of whole chicken, and you'd watch that meat fall off the bone, and
Wasn't worth the poop.
but you used to eat that chicken and sausage gumbo.
What?
When I was younger, you used to eat that chicken and sausage gumbo.
I didn't eat the chicken.
Yeah,
I ate
you-
the gumbo, but not the chicken.
Oh,
The sausage.
he never ate the chicken?
No,
Mm.
Well,
never.
At Thanksgiving time, do you like turkey?
No, I don't.
You don't like any yard bird, do you?
I don't care for all that kind of stuff.
I'm not a turkey fan either. Or a beef. I
Nan,
like seafood.
Nan, this is the last question. This is from a few folks that wanted to know. Why do you continue to teach at the age of 83? What motivates you to keep on teaching when you could easily retire and enjoy more of what life has to offer? What keeps you going? Why do you keep teaching students?
I teach students because I'm passing my knowledge, and as long as I'm able to teach and instill in them good advice, I not only teach, I give them good advice so they could have better lives, so they can improve their lives. About if a person comes from another country and they have skills in a particular field, I say, okay, we'll learn the vocabulary, contextualize. Learn the vocabulary that's having to do with the skills you already know. If you're a nurse, learn in English the tools that you use. Whatever, if you're a carpenter, learn so you can be a better worker. So they continue to inspire me. I am living the life I want to live, enjoying it. Every time I get in the classroom, those students, they lift me up, and that's where I want to be. That's what life has to offer for me, and I just welcome it.
Is there any part of your teaching that you do for a lot of the immigrants that are coming over that you wish that you would have gotten when you came over to the United States? You had to be pretty much self-taught. You're trying to make their life easier.
That's correct. I learned English the hard way when I met my husband. When I met my husband, I barely could speak English, and I had to self-taught. And then after my two little boys started school, I went back to high school. And I started in the second half of the 10th grade, and I finished high school in Spring Hill, and from there I went to college the same summer. I had an appetite for education, for learning, for knowledge, and I still do. And my students, I encourage them, whenever you finish a course, go for another one. Remember what was your dream when you were a child? Just follow that dream. Now you have the opportunity. You're in America. And just even if you go to take one course, each semester, little by little, before you know, you have a career.
With a lot of the immigrants that come over that want to better themselves or that have the opportunity to better themselves with college education, do you try to steer them in a direction that will better their future generations down the road, to start doing things the way that will help their family out 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road?
Correct.
So they teach their kids teach their kids
That's
the way
exactly
that we
right.
do things here in the United States, to make sure that it's easier for them.
That's exactly right. I like to steer them into be sure that whatever you learn, you teach your child. And when your child, it may be in the 5th or 6th grade and they know more English than you do, sit with them and say, what did you learn today? What kind of new word you want to teach me? And that way you can become closer. And if you ask the child to tutor you, and some of them do, I say, I learned this from my son. I didn't know this was happening, and because they learn a lot of things in history, and that keep them family closer.
Where all do your students come from? In your 40 plus years of teaching, where have your students come from?
Okay, I have students. Some of them came from Russia, from France, from the Ukraine. I have students from Syria, from El Salvador, from Cambodia, from Vietnam, a lot of them from Mexico, from Guatemala. They come from different countries, and they come here to learn. And I have some from some that know a little English, but they want to. The cat is feeling. So yes, and they come here and they get a job. I had some professional people. Some of them are dentists and regular cardiologists that come from other countries. I had a cardiologist from Afghanistan. I have 2 dentists from Syria. I have teachers that come from Mexico that come to improve their English. So there's a lot of professional people that come from other countries just to improve their English so they can go back and be a better teacher. Because everyone needs to learn English. You come to this country or you go, English is universal. Wherever you go, there'll be someone speaking English, wanting to speak English. So at least you can communicate with people.
Is there anything that you would like to... He ain't gonna close the door while he's using the bathroom? Pop, you ain't gonna close the door while you're using the bathroom?
What?
You ain't gonna close the door while you're using the bathroom?
I don't know how to use the bathroom.
Is there anything that you want to tell before we close this segment of question and answer that you want to tell to young students and immigrants coming over to the United States? Give them any words of advice?
The first thing you need to do is follow the law. You have to follow the law. Learn, if you're going to drive here, learn the rules. Try to get that book and study so you can get your driver's license. Having a proper ID is very important. Get a work permit and go for it, because when you come here, you came here for a reason. You came here because this is America, where we still have a lot of opportunities for immigrants. Immigrants are welcome here, and we'll give them the opportunity if they're willing to work. And I know once they get their job, they do their best. They're good workers. So.
All right. Well, this is the end of the questioning and answering.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the house.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Yes, we
Joe,
Right. Pop,
What?
where are you going?
are. I'm going to the
I
house.
still got 20 more
Well,
questions.
you better keep them.
Joe,
Hey, do you want to take her with you or leave her here?
Let me think just a minute. You can have her. But she can father me.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Come on, Maria.